Imagine transforming a simple plot of land into a cutting-edge hospital that transforms healthcare every single day. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about an innovative business model which I'm going to be using to transform healthcare to essentially improve healthcare in ways that I think I can do it better. I'm going to be using some real-world examples of how property and medicine are actually linked and also explaining my vision at the end. Let's start with the Guy's and St. Thomas Foundation. These guys, when I found out about them, I couldn't believe it. This is a charity which is run by Guy's and St. Thomas Hospital in London, and they have a property portfolio with assets of over £400 million. Yes, you heard that absolutely correct. Their portfolio consists of commercial properties, student properties, agricultural properties, and also residential properties. And the great thing about the location of Guy's and St. Thomas Hospital, it means that some of their properties are actually within the vicinity of the hospital. And for anybody that knows, that is prime real estate. We're talking central London, right next to the Shard, London Bridge. The values of those properties must be absolutely insane. But why is them having a property portfolio this big even important? Well, the charity's endowment sits at around £1 billion in assets. In simple terms, an endowment is a pool of assets that are invested to generate income. For Guy's and St. Thomas, this essentially means a steady flow of income that they can use to be able to deliver outstanding healthcare. The income from these investments can finance a range of different things, such as being able to fund research or being able to provide a new cancer centre in the hospital. This ensures that the hospital can continue to deliver outstanding care without much financial strain. This is a brilliant example of how a diverse property portfolio can help you improve healthcare and deliver outstanding outcomes. The second program that we're going to move on to look at is the NHS LIFT Programme. And this is a program which you actually might have come across in your day-to-day life. So if you remember when you were growing up or back in the day, if you went to the GP practice and it was just someone's little house or it was a small building, now your GP's merged with loads of different GPs under one centre in your community. Maybe there is a pharmacy in there, maybe there's also physiotherapists on site. This might be a beneficiary of the NHS LIFT Programme. So what is the NHS LIFT Programme? This is an example of how stellar financing in healthcare can improve health outcomes as well as improving real estate. So since 2001, they have invested about £100 million of public funds into being able to improve healthcare facilities. As of today, the healthcare facilities that they own within their portfolio currently sit around £2.5 billion in value. So with this £100 million, they essentially worked with private developers to be able to improve healthcare facilities. It is estimated that they did about 350 projects up and down the country. The primary goal of this program was to modernize healthcare real estate, be able to increase investment within primary care, and generally improve well-being of both their staff working at these places and also the patients coming into the practices. By involving private investors and developers, the program allowed for the construction of these facilities. These facilities were then leased back to the NHS, so on contracts for instance for 20 or 30 years. And the NHS as a result can benefit from having modern facilities that people are able to interact with, and the community can also benefit as having a community space where they are able to get all of their health needs under one roof. This works particularly well in communities where healthcare was typically underserved, because now it means the whole community can access healthcare in one place which is local to them. So how does all of this work in the context of my vision? I hope those two examples have allowed you to see how property development and medicine can actually be really linked. So I want you to think of this in two ways. On one side you have a property company, and on the other side you have a healthcare company. So on the property side, we'll be raising money from private investors to be able to help us to acquire and also refurb properties. On every single project that we work on, the important thing is to be adding value. When we add value, what this allows us to do is to be able to return the investment with interest back to the investors, as well as improve the facilities that are in the local vicinity. So for instance, this is taking a rundown, dilapidated, no gas, no central heating property and being able to bring it back to life. This is great because it returns the investment for our investors and they're able to do something which is financially driven and also mission driven. On the healthcare side, we will then be using these properties to lease them out to people with learning difficulties, lease them out to people who are coming out of care, and eventually getting to a point where we're able to lease these facilities out to the NHS or any other healthcare facility not confined to the NHS. And this is how we slowly get from where we are today to eventually building a hospital. Eventually, the goal is to build a property portfolio similar to Guy's and St. Thomas Foundation, where Our portfolio essentially allows us to be able to fund research, to be able to fund healthcare. And people are asking me, how do you think you can do it better? And this is essentially where I think we can do it better. One of the things which is very close to my heart is improving healthcare and improving health equity. I think this is an area which is massively under-researched, underdeveloped, lack of funding. People think it's not important. And by creating a model and a system where we are able to choose where we allocate the money to be able to improve healthcare, we ultimately improve healthcare. For me, it's important that we create a sustainable model, both on a property and on a healthcare side. From a property perspective, a sustainable model looks like being able to acquire assets and add enough value that we are able to pay back our investors with interest every single time. So on the healthcare side, there is a whole spectrum of how this can also be sustainable. This can be from taking derelict commercial buildings and being able to turn them into small clinics. This can be from a housing perspective to be able to provide housing to those who are in need, such as the care leavers that I already mentioned. Or on a larger scale, this can be medical centres such as those being built by the NHS LIFT Programme. And sustainability in healthcare looks like being able to provide healthcare to the people that need it the most. By managing both sides of the equation, we are able to ensure that we can return an investment to our investors. They are able to see the bricks and mortar, they are able to see the development go along, and we can also ensure that we are mission driven to make sure that we are improving healthcare for people and there is a tangible and very observable result when you're seeing this. As we scale, the revenue from the property side will allow us to be able to fund bigger projects and to be able to do bigger scale developments. So there you have it, my vision on how you can use strategic property development to be able to improve medicine and healthcare. By combining health equity into it as well, it allows us to ensure that what we're doing is very mission driven as well as being able to return an investment. If you're inspired by this vision and you want to come with us on the journey, I have a form below which allows you to fill out an investor form and I will be in touch. Also, if you're inspired by this journey and you just want to come along for the ride, please like, comment and subscribe on this video and I will see you on the next video. As I mentioned, this is a journey that we're going to be going over the next 10 years, over the next 20 years. So lock in, you're one of the early viewers and it's going to be a great ride.